It's Monday, the sun's on the rise. Homeroom's the place where we sharpen our minds. Grab your coffee, your notebook, your pen. Homeroom, homeroom. Let's do it again.
Whoa, Jacob.
That was me. Could you tell that was me singing?
Wow, you are so talented. In case anybody wants to know, that's Busted Pencil's Homeroom. New intro music. People are like, what? I love it, though.
Well, thank
I
you.
love it too, man. What a great way to kick off the week and to welcome everybody into Homeroom.
I'm startled. I feel so inspired to be in homeroom with my three favorite classmates as we get ready for a week of and lots of fun coming on. But I'm just wondering though, Johnny and Jacob, I was listening to my nephew this weekend, and he got in trouble last week at school because he said 6'7".
6'7".
Oh wait, and I was just like, what? How could you be in trouble for saying 6'7"? Those are just two real numbers. When you're counting to 10, you have to say 6 and 7 if you're going to count from 1 to 10. How could that be something that gets you into trouble? And I was just like, wait a minute. And holy crap, did I learn something from my nephew that I had no idea was going on? That 6'7" is the kind of new weapon of mass destruction that students are hurling in schools at their teachers and principals nowadays. I was just taken aback and just thinking, my goodness, we gotta start homeroom because the rest of this week I'm gonna be worried about if I say 6'7", if I'm gonna get in trouble.
6'7".
It's a meme, folks. It's a popular meme spreading like wildfire across this great country of ours.
And it's also dictionary.com's word of the year.
Oh,
it's also a widely used like inside joke, Tim. I mean, you couldn't have described it better. The reason why it's like spread and become such a popular saying with the youths is because of exactly what you said. It's a playful, nonsensical interjection that you can find all the time. And when somebody says, 6'7", a whole room of kids who shared the inside joke or the playful interjection of saying 6'7", and making the hand gesture, which is nonsensical and playful. There's nothing like lewd or crude about it. There's nothing malicious about it. Certainly us old folks who aren't in on the joke from its inception don't really find it as funny. We find it more annoying, right? Or a distraction, but yet it keeps popping up. So it's out there for better or for worse. The young people love it. And it's everywhere now, Tim. So I'm excited that you learned about it through your nephew. I mean, it's in sports broadcasts. It's on other podcasts. It's everywhere I've been. And it's certainly every teacher I talk to. Anytime it happens or it's said, and they are even now saying it almost as a sigh, like, oh, I did it. I just said the two numbers together. Or, I just did a problem and the solution ended up being those two numbers together, whether it's 67 or 6'7", or someone asks what comes after, 6, and someone says 7 and everybody says 6'7". Right. Yeah, they get it. It's funny. It's playful. Hats off to the youths for having something that is defining a generation of young people, especially in school. So, but Tim, I think you're bringing it to the show in a really interesting way of, what constitutes a distraction, what's community building, and how we respond to it as teachers. I have a whole mixed bag of feelings about it, but, certainly happening in every single classroom, probably across this country, maybe even more broadly. So, Tim, you did some research on
Well,
this,
yeah,
right?
I actually I did some research. My first research was, of course, then asking my sister-in-law, my nephew's mother, and I don't think that her understanding was actually the way I'm finding it now, because she's like, "Well, that's what they're really saying. 6'7" is they're referring to 69." And
No, no,
That's
no,
ridiculous,
no.
Tim. It's the devil.
Yeah.
They're referring to
Yeah.
the devil.
Okay,
Well,
but
one digit
no, I
short of the neighbor of the bee.
okay, but yeah, actually, Chalkbeat love the education journalism they do, and in fact said, they went out and looked at how 6'7" is really permeating, particularly classrooms and school teachers, and actually, what I liked here is that instead of being frustrated, annoyed, and punishing. The use of 6'7", they did a whole story focusing on teachers actually using, as quote from one teacher, "I use 6'7" to my advantage," and talks about being an elementary school teacher leaning into it. The principal and another teacher dressed as a 6 and a 7 for Halloween during the Halloween parade costume. They created a 6'7" chant. There's a 6'7" attention getter. Um, you know, so one teacher in Michigan had students write 67-word essays about the 6'7" trend. A choir teacher had her students write and perform a song about 6'7". And so I kind of looked at this and went, you know what? This is what we should be highlighting, because my poor nephew shouldn't be getting in trouble for something like this. And in fact, what a great, creative, innovative group of teachers here that's featured in Chalkbeat have gone like, hey, we're gonna roll with it, and we're gonna have fun with it, maybe even learn a little bit with it. And so I just thought, you know what? Hey, I didn't know anything, especially when my nephew told me he got in trouble for that. But then I really got led astray, and now coming to this and going, it's actually quote meaningless. Other than now, kids have kind of in school have used it as a way to annoy their teachers. And but here now, you know what, take advantage, lean into it, go with it. Teachers, you're out there, check out Chalkbeat and see some of these creative ways to just actually take the sting and the kind of the need for students to feel like they're poking fun and agitating you. What the best way to demonstrate that is to show that actually doesn't bother me, and in fact, I'm gonna have fun with it. I bet it'll die away very quickly
Yes.
when right? It's just like all of a sudden now, wait a minute, the teachers like it. Oh no. Wait, we gotta come up with something else, it will so anyway, that's my thoughts. Again, homeroom. I know, we like to make these quick, but Johnny and Jacob, I just wanted to bring that. And, any final thoughts before we begin a great new week of living and learning?
I'll just say, Tim, that I'm in my mid 20s, but I'm also a bit of a crudmudgeon. I don't like the Utes, and it just brings me joy to see that teachers across this country are co-opting this meme and ruining it for the kids whose culture I know nothing of and who I don't understand. So that brings joy to my cold heart. Before the show, you said, "Well, Jacob probably knows." I'm like, guys, the fact that I know who Andy Griffith is when we talk means I don't know about 6'7". Okay, I can't know everything. I know about Johnny Carson. I don't understand the 6'7" meme. So I got to specialize. Johnny, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, I love that we talked about this today. I think this is for as annoyed as I get even in my classes when students who are, in their late teens, early 20s are certainly partaking in the youthful inside joke. of the two numbers 6-7 and then 6-7, right? And I see, football touchdown celebrations when the score is 6-7, all the players on the sidelines and in the stand. I mean, it's one of those things where I just have to tip my hat to it and say, I give it to the youth. They've turned a meme into a live action shared inside joke that has certainly spread everywhere. And even I've seen it in classrooms, Tim. I love that teachers are leaning into it, and it will certainly make an inside joke less inside. But give it to the youth, man. They love it, and they get just as excited when their teacher says it. So, I mean, it's just like one of those things. I think it's going to be around for a minute. I personally can't wait for it to go away, but it's pretty funny, and I have to chuckle about it. And love that we're starting off our week light like that, and look forward to this really awesome week that should be lots of time spent with family, friends, loved ones, being grateful for one another and for the great things that we do have going on in our schools, in our communities, and in our world. And with that, Tim, let's close out Homeroom with
Now it's time for your moment of Zen. It is the citizenry rather than the government that is the ultimate source of power and the locomotive that pulls the train of government in the direction of equality and justice.
Thanks for taking a few more minutes than just 6 or 7 minutes today and listening to Busted Pencil's Homeroom podcast. And remember to grab great other podcasts filled with more Busted Pencils content on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and of course on the Civic Media website. And don't you miss Class in Session on Wednesday, and find our special drop of Producer's Choice on Friday. And of course, catch Busted Pencils on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Central Time across all the Civic Media Network stations for 1 hour of your favorite blue-collar scholars, Tim and Johnny, and keep busting pencils.
Grab your coffee, your notebook, your pen.